Hello my lovelies, Robbie here from Kickback Garage. As you can see, I am out and about on my BSA Gold Star. This thing never gets tired to ride. But anyway, if you're here for the scooters, keep watching, because this, unfortunately for me, and happily or merrily for the new guy, I've done a pot exchange on this, and I'm riding it to its new owner as we ride. Grab yourself a coffee. I'll see you after the intro. Messing around with these cameras, batteries going flat.
Markerte det med regn, alle sprang I lag og ville komme under tak. Ingen av oss merket at du hadde falt ifra. Hvorfor valgte du å dra? Hvem I faen kunne se den komme? Da høsten tok over, sa vi hadde brattet av sommer.
Right, let me close my visor. This thing is quite loud. Right, so if you follow the channel, you would have seen on the last video, or not the last video, but on the rally video when we rode to Oslo, that the Dynaco Series 1 shit is 5-speed gearbox, and I'm in a bit of a monetary dilemma, and I've got some important bills that I have to pay. I won't go into that. And I struck a deal with one of my mates who sort of had his eyes on this since the day I built it. In fact, he helped me pick it up when it was in its former glory. And what we've done, we actually struck a deal where I'm gonna part exchange this for some cash and another lambretta, and the other lambretta is actually something special. You don't find many of these in Norway at all, and a complete departure from what I would normally have. But what I was thinking of doing is, now that I can pay my bills and buy my son a gearbox, I don't actually have to stress with that. I hate messing around with mechanics in the summer months when we get this glorious weather, although it does look, those clouds look a little bit ominous. So I can just let the Dynaco stand until we get some shitty days, and my son can ride the little beauty that I'm gonna pick up now in about half an hour's time. So I'll turn the camera off. Just listen to that thing. I'm sad to see it go, I really am, but the fact that my son is really enjoyed the rally, and we've got some trips organised with the club that he wants to really join me on. That's sort of my drive at the moment, and the fact that I get rid of some friendly debt and even have a little bit of money in the bank for maybe some upgrades on that Series 1. Anyway, I'll turn the camera off. I'll see you in a second. Well, look at this. Bet you can't guess what it is. Let me find somewhere to park up, and I'll take you a run round on it. Oh, it's got a Scoot RS disc, and that's a bit grabby. Hola, por favor. Check it out, ladies and gents. It is 1957 LA 150 lambretta, of course, but it's Civetta, Spanish one, and you don't actually see many of these in Norway, and actually you don't see many Series 3s either. The paint it's not brilliant. It looks like they've painted this without putting any proper, oh, what's it called, primer on it. But it's in a pretty good, useful nick. And the interesting bit about this is it's got my favourite master cylinder on here, the M&W. I've no idea why they've used a bolt that rusts, but I think I can swap that out. I've got one at home in the correct pitch. It's got a Scooter RS disc brake on it. Most importantly, it's running a RB20. I think it's the original Spanish block. I haven't checked the numbers or anything. I've got no idea. I know nothing about this scooter. But it's running a JL3 exhaust pipe. It's quite revvy. It looks like the engine block has been powder coated black. It's got this Soul Scooter seat on, and the little impression I've got of it already is yeah, it seems alright. It's nice and tight to ride. Front fork is a little bit grubby. They're okay, you just have to get used to it. But I think the first thing I'll do there is swap the pads to the original Nissan pads, and yeah, this means that I don't have to hurry fixing up the Series 1. He's also added some other gadgets on. Got a temperature gauge that was up at 350 Celsius, so then there's got to be exhaust temperature. I have no idea. And the speedo, of course, does not work. But he's put this fancy little Rimini Lambretta toolbox on there, which is nice. And lo and behold, it's got a mid-range fuel tank on there, so that we've got the all-important toolbox. So let me jump on, take you for a ride home, and I'll give you a little bit of a first ride impressions thing on this. But one thing I need to check is, and it looks like it, hey, it's got tubeless rims on here. I think they're actually race speed tubeless rims. There's a lot of race speed goodies on this, and race speed things are things I normally don't get hold of. This is a bit cheap and nasty. The link holder for the front dampers and that as well. I know the lad who built this was a welder, so I find that a little bit odd, but it feels okay. Yeah, let's have a rip. 3, 2, 1. This is the first time I have ever tried a RB20. Right off the bat, what am I trying to think of? Right off the bat, it's a bit grumpy. It's jetted way too rich, and it really emphasizes the fact that there's no point trying to bimble like I'm doing now in third gear. So let me just go down in second gear, hear this thing rev out. It certainly shifts. Get around this corner, let's see what it does in the hills. Throttle response a bit slow, but once it starts taking off, it pulls really well actually. I think Shrek can have some fun on this. He likes in Norway we call it ketchup. It's like nothing, and then absolutely everything. So if I twist the throttle, there you go. Ooh. Ah, it pulls. It's pulls strong. That front brake gets a little bit getting used to. It's a bit grabby. but it does have so this is an older Scooter S disc brake on it, but otherwise, as I said earlier, I don't really know anything about the spec of this thing. Clutch feels good, definitely no sign of slippage. I've got the old temp gauge there. I'm not sure what that's measuring. I'll have to have a rummage under the panel, see what it is. If it's exhaust, it must be exhaust. It's on 320C. That would be a hole in the piston if that was head temperature. But it's a lot of fun. But it is going to be a lot more work, like on tours and stuff, I reckon. It pulls good, but it likes its revs. So yeah, like the RT here would just like take off. I'm actually having to go find myself. Oh. Go all the way down into first gear to get it round that corner. Come on, come on. That's sort of due to the fact that it's richly jetted as well, I reckon. Let me just get round this corner. It feels quite feisty. Fun little scooter, actually. Fun little scooter. One thing that's a bit strange, I'm not used to riding Series 3, so I haven't really ridden it apart from the SST last year. It just needs to be a bit more on the throttle. So just have to get used to sitting in high revs. Yeah, so the Series 3, what's the difference between them? Well, I'll tell you. First off, they're a lot smaller. Not only are they skinnier, they do seem shorter. This has got the sports seat, as you saw, and my bum, it's right on the back of that little flippy up bit at the back, and I'm not really a big guy. I'm a short horse at 5'7", but I feel quite comfortable on it, and the handlebars are a little bit lower. I suppose that makes them feel a little bit more sporty. It pulls nice, I have to say. So as soon as I get home, I'm gonna have to fill some petrol first. See. Wish I had a rev counter. I'd a hazard a guess is about nothing really happens until about 5,500 revs, I reckon. And if you're a really proficient rider and just ride it at 5,500 revs, you can have a lot of fun. A little pocket rocket. It's a little pocket rocket. So what I'm going to do is, on my way home, I am going to fill up some petrol, and I think I'll send Shrek out for a ride to see what he thinks. A nice little addition to the garage. A couple of things, niggles I'd like to sort out, sort of straight away. Nothing major, nothing expensive. So I have to say, this is the first scooter I've ever bought that doesn't really need a full complete overhaul. Happy days. Woohoo! It pulls lovely, I have to say. Yeah, it's a great little, nippy little thing. Wonder what Shrek thinks. Right, let me get this 50 zone out of the way. It doesn't really like pottering at all, and it doesn't take the sleeping policeman. It's got a BGM shock on the rear. doesn't quite take the sleeping policeman in the same manner that my series 1 and 2s do. Let's see what it'll do when I use it properly. It's a bit of a screamer. Pulls really nicely. If anything, if I was going to compare this to my old SS, I would say that it's quite well behaved actually. Yeah, it does pull pretty good when you get up in the revs, but I think it's maybe got slightly long gears. So it's quite well behaved actually, but it still just pulls and pulls. And 400 and what's that? 300 and the exhaust temperature is quite high there. I've no idea how to read those things. But on full throttle, I think the main jet is okay actually, because on full throttle it didn't sort of accelerate when I dropped off the throttle, you know what I mean. Yeah, anyway.
Well, that was a bit of a weird evening. I came home with a Civetta, really excited about that, and I had this guy that came up because he wanted me to restore a lambretta Series 2, and as you can see, let me move the camera. Where are you? Oh, there's actually quite a lot of midges out here today because it started raining. There we go. LI 150 Series 2. He wanted me to restore this. It's not in the best of shape, put it that way, but everything's here. LI 150 engine block. So look, you can see it there. Mudguard, the leggies are that's a lot of work to get those leg shields sorted, but yeah, it's complete. So the odd thing is we worked out the price of how much it would cost him to fix this, and the Civetta was parked outside the garage, and he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So he traded me this LI 150 Series 2. There's some okay parts there. Problem is with these things is you can't flip them unless you're a painter or something like that. It's just impossible to flip them because you use more money than you can sell them for. So there's not really any point sort of restoring it for just for the fun of it, because it just doesn't add up, especially here in Norway with being outside the EU. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that, but I am a lesser Civetta. Yeah, that was a bit strange. That escalated fast, didn't it? What to do? Anyway, unfortunately, I can't delve into my Civetta and tell you what I've done with that, because I haven't got it anymore, don't own it anymore. And that must be the quickest scooter sale I've ever had. We're talking about 1.5 hours. But Sebastian, he did actually get the chance to try it, and what I think I'm going to do is maybe take off the Avanti. He's got a TS1. He does like the way that it delivers the power, even though it's a bit more of a pain in the arse for us old folks with a hard clutch and stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna do some. I really have to get my skates on, because I have to change the gearbox in the Series 1, and I might even put a new exhaust on that. Damn, these flies are terrible. I'm gonna have to get in. So don't forget, if you like this kind of stuff, do the old subscribe, give me your thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one. Ta-ra!